up, you guys? Welcome back to Bachelor Tea Party. Yes, we've got a brand new name and a new Facebook page, so make sure you check that out. I am Zuri Hall, and today we are joined by Ashley, Iaconetti, Haibon, and Hannah Godwin. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How we doing? We are so excited to talk about this second episode of Clare Crawley's new season of The Bachelorette, from Clare's one-on-one with Jason to the whole ring debacle. Everyone's trying to figure out what's up with that band on that special finger, and all of the drama in the episode. We're going to break it all down. So first up, let's go ahead and quickly touch on the ring situation, because social media is ablaze with speculation about what this means. Clare was photographed with a ring on that finger, and she later took to Instagram saying that she bought it for herself. She had a really long caption that I actually loved and personally totally bought. I could see myself doing something like that. So I'm curious to know if you two think she was telling the truth about what that ring means. Who wants to take it away first?
Anna, go for it.
Okay.
Well, so I haven't totally studied up on the whole ring thing. I heard about it, but if she got engaged on the show, they don't usually give the rings out, right?
Yeah, so that was my initial thing. I don't know that the lead even has the ring in their possession until their final episode airs. I did have my ring, but they announced, I think I'm the exception because they announced my engagement the day after it happened. So I don't think it's all a big rumor, because if she's engaged, she shouldn't have the ring. And that looks like a wedding band to me, right? Not so much of a Neil Lane engagement ring. So I'm gonna say that that's true. The story is she has a commitment ring to herself.
Clare picked a one-on-one with Jason, and folks were surprised that she didn't pick Dale. So how were you guys feeling about the one-on-one with Jason? Things seemed to get pretty deep with them. She also, burned her finale gown from Juan Pablo season. So what were we thinking about how stuff went down with her and Jason? Ashley?
I was like, this dress is a part of TV history. Don't burn it. I was like, that could be in a Bachelor museum one day. It's an iconic dress.
Yeah.
Her date with Jason was great. I mean, I really felt them connecting. It was one of the most real and vulnerable dates I've ever seen on the show. And I know that is it's such a Bachelor term, being vulnerable, but that felt like a very intimate date to me, and it felt real. I liked the fact that because this is all happening on one property at La Quinta, that the dates might be more simple. They're probably going to be less activity based and more personality based. And I think them just sitting around a fire and talking about their past and how they've gotten to be maybe a little bit more closed off and having to learn how to be more open was really nice to see. I really liked it. After that date, it made me feel like the rumors that she ends up with Dale right away are not I don't want to say disappointed, but that she had a good group of guys where she could have explored the relationship a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hannah, what about how did you feel about the one-on-one, and also some of the dark things from Jason's past that he brought up? Do we feel like that might come back to haunt him later in the season?
I don't know. I hope not, because you get in those positions and you're like, okay, I'm going to open up and because this person deserves to hear it. And you really hope that, the show doesn't use it to twist and bite you in the butt for it, basically. But I agree with what Ashley said. Usually there's so many activities, especially the first one-on-one date. It's usually you're going skydiving, or you're, I don't know, going on a yacht somewhere or something. So I like the idea that some of the dates are simplified, but maybe we're getting some substance in there. Was it too much substance for the first date? I don't know. I'm one of those people that I like to kind of open up on the first date, because if not, I'm just a weirdo.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on to our Throwing Shade segment. This is where we break down the shadiest moments of the night. And first up, we have Clare getting annoyed at the bro night group date. So whose side are we on with this? Are we feeling the guys, or are we feeling Clare's perspective on how that all went down?
All right. So I think that I think Clare was a little bit dramatic. but only because it was the first group date and these guys don't know how it works yet. You know, they don't know that they're the ones that are supposed to be always initiating. And they're just going to be shy at this point. However, I think it was worthwhile that she did it because it shows these guys exactly what she's looking for. And if anybody's sitting back anymore, it'll be a sign to her that he's just not her person.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay, so right when I watched it, I was like, yes, like I love that she's like, get up and talk to me. Like, why is this awkward? Whatever, because she is the Bachelorette. Like, this is what she signed up for, quarantined for, all of these guys did, and then they didn't get up. But then I started thinking, I'm like, back to my season, like, I didn't do anything until a producer was like, okay, you're good. Like, they would kind of tell you the rules. So if it were the second group date and this happened, I'd be like, oh, all right, guys, like, seriously, like, come on. But I feel like she should have given them a little bit of slack, knowing production and that, you know, you kind of have to wait until you get a cue to maybe go, like, ask her first, like, you know, I don't know.
Like, I figure out what the rules are. Give them time to adjust to that.
Yeah. But I like that she was, like, herself about it. I'm glad she wasn't like, anyways, guys, like, what are you supposed to do when everybody's quiet staring at each other? Like, what do we do? Like, you know, it was a weird situation. I felt uncomfy for sure.
It seems like something that production would know that if a guy wasn't going to stand up right away, that it would set Clare off.
They are smart like that.
Yeah. They're like, oh, if somebody's not taking initiative, she's not going to like that. I also thought that, I don't know. I think it's just with that first group date, you have to have a little bit more grace that these guys are newbies and you are the veteran here. So like, you may know this is the time where somebody comes and grabs you. That's because this is your 5th time doing it. And no shade, I've done it 4 times. Like, I don't, that's fine. But true. You have to kind of put in perspective that these guys haven't done it before.
Well, one thing we know for sure, there always tends to be a villain who sort of reveals himself or herself at some point. And a lot of people were pegging Yosef as that. Yosef and Riley, tensions got pretty high. Do we feel like Yosef is on the villain path? I mean, he was saying some pretty harsh things at one point throughout the night to Clare. He said he got red flags from her. He said he was ashamed to be associated with her in the super tease. So how do we feel about him sort of speaking his piece and how that might be coming across right now?
Villain alert for sure. I mean, if they're airing it and he's saying it and feeling it, he's absolutely being set up to be the villain. He gets a villain award then, right?
Yeah. We agree, Ashley?
He just admits really bad vibes, and he did since night 1, even though I thought it was stupid last week that Tyler C was coming after him on night 1 for DMs before the season. I still got really bad vibes from him, and I feel like there's a reason that he lasted through even week 1 when I think Clare was like, I don't deal with bull here.
Speaking of, Clare talking about the fact that she is not down with the BS, she got pretty annoyed at Brandon and sent him home for basically saying that the main/only reason at the time that, he was there was because she was pretty, she was gorgeous.
Wait, so you said you knew that I was a Bachelorette and you wanted to sign up?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know anything about me?
I don't know you. Obviously, don't know you on a personal level, and don't know your history. You're just so beautiful, and I wanted to get to know you.
Is there any other thing that made you want to come on for me?
I don't have a specific answer for you.
And how do you feel about Clare sending him home because all he could come up with was, well, you're gorgeous?
I think I'm in agreement with her decision. He even said going into that conversation that he had a turbulent night 1 and he was trying to redeem himself. So I wonder how that went. But the fact that he couldn't just pull something out of his butt, for lack of a better expression, because I feel like I can come up with something redeemable besides somebody's looks within 5-10 minutes of knowing each other. And he has had, even if he never watched the show before and he just kind of threw out that line of like, I wanted it to be you, and then didn't expect her to ask for specifics. I think you could come up with something that you've witnessed over the past couple days about like her strength, her vulnerability, anything like that. And he couldn't. And I think the guy just is so nervous. He froze. And I mean, even if he were to admit that he was so nervous that like he lost his train of thought or something, it would have redeemed him a little bit. So then he buries himself even more by saying, you know, I'm here for love. And I just want to say that like, I feel it when you're feeling me. Like, I know that you're feeling me and I'm feeling you too. And she's like, wait, what signs are you getting that I'm feeling you? Because you have not impressed me so far. Yeah. I think it was time for him to leave. Unfortunately, I just think it was not very good under pressure. And
yeah. I would hate to define him based off of basically essentially his word vomit, possibly. Yeah. If that's how he is and he's like, oh, it's just looks and stuff, hate that. Like, he should have left for sure. But, you know, if he just was under pressure, whatever, and he wasn't vibing, nervous, whatever, I don't know him enough to say he might, you know, suck, kind of. So I don't know.
So now we are going to play a round of roses or thorns, and we're just going to name some of, you know, the moments from this episode and talk about if you liked it. If you liked it, give it a rose. If you were not into it, obviously give it a thorn, and then tell us why you feel that way. So first up, we have the love languages group date. Rose or thorn?
Rose.
Rose.
Yeah. It was a great idea. I can't believe they haven't done it thus far. Yeah. Because everybody loves talking about love languages, and I think it's something that is important for you to know going into a relationship with somebody.
Mm-hmm. Dylan and I are huge like love language people, and I feel like it's a good way to get to know somebody, especially so early on, and kind of connect with them. And you get a really, really good idea if you're into love languages. You get a really good idea about who they are automatically, like as soon as you kind of learn about them like that.
Yeah. 100%. Okay, roses all the way for the love languages group date. What about the game of strip dodgeball? 1, 2, 3.
Thorn. I give it a thorn just because the double standard. If they were to do that to girls, it would be outrageous. It would be all over.
Yeah. Exactly the same. I think for Claire in the moment, she was probably like, yeah, Rose, like, I get to see a bunch of hot guys. But ultimately, like, if the dynamic was switched, it would be absolutely super inappropriate and not even giving them the chance to choose if they want to play or not, kind of thing. Like, you just signed up for a show and now you're, you know, stripping on national television. Right. Not cool.
Right.
Yeah. I will say that I think there was a sense of humor there. And if a guy decided that he didn't want to play, I hope that he wouldn't have had peer pressure and that they would have been like, oh, okay, that guy's like more conservative. But I didn't love it.
Yeah. They were like, these are our rules. Like, or we're going to play by my rules. And it was like,
yeah. Right.
What if you don't want to play by the rules on national television? If
we're going to stick to the there are no rules theme.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so final roses or thorns. Overall, I know we talked about this last week, but Claire's group of guys, as it stands, how are you feeling? Rose or thorn? 1, 2, 3.
A thorny.
I don't know.
A thorny? I don't know.
A thorny rose.
Thorny
I
rose.
don't know them. I've never had zero clue about a group of people week 2. I mean, I know it's week 2 and or the second weekend and everything, but for some reason I'm having a hard time connecting with a lot of these dudes so far.
Okay, Ashley,
there isn't anyone being very highlighted besides Dale, and I think this episode really highlighted Dale in an amazing way. Like, I left wanting to see more of them. Their interaction is super natural. It's not awkward to watch. He was a total knight in shining armor when it came to that group date where she complained about guys not getting up. Mm-hmm. Like, he had all the right words. He's not going to hold back any longer, and I felt very connected to him here. However, I'm not feeling connected to anyone else. I really liked the guy Riley who got the group date on the group date rose the first time. He was cute with the whole prom date theme. And then I like Chasen, who got the other group date rose, but I also don't feel like I don't know him through television right now. I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's the thing. I think this is a different type of storyline than we've seen in the past, like where there's such a strong connection.
We're not supposed to get connected to the other guys.
Yes. Maybe that's what I'm dealing with, is that I'm like, anytime she's with a guy, I'm comparing it to this insane spark that she had with Dale. So I feel like it's kind of like, it's special in a way because it's different, but it's also like not allowing me to like even connect with any of these other guys, because I'm like, oh, she's thinking about Dale the whole time, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we will definitely see how it all plays out as she continues to get to know all of the other guys. That wraps it up for this episode of Bachelor Tea Party. Make sure you're following Ashley and Hannah on social media, and tune in next Wednesday when we have another episode. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.